So the life of an old RV. So we're cruising on 85. We're probably 45 minutes from Charlotte, and the motorhome just cut off. It just said, we're stopping. And we got over to the side of the road and got stopped. And I think the ignition switch is bad. I mean, this thing's a 1992. It won't give me any power anywhere when I turn it on. So we're going to try to take this thing apart real fast. It comes on for a second and then goes off. Or it's popping a relay somewhere. So I'm going to get out. Man, it feels like these cars are like right beside us. And they're a decent distance away, but they're definitely, we don't have emergency flashers, so they're not getting over. But let's see if we can get this thing started so we can get to the track. God, life is an adventure when you own all old stuff. All right, we're back on the road. We stopped to make sure we weren't doing a smoke test on nothing. Everything seems to be working okay. Well, the battery's not charging. RPM's not working. We are in gear because that's my ignition switch. Those yellow wires is the problem. They got a dead short somewhere. And what it was doing is it was clicking the circuit breaker on and off up front here. And I tried to, I thought it was a circuit breaker bad at first. I was like, okay, well, that's a good, easy fix. And so I just, bypassed it, took the wires loose and hot wired it. And when I did, I was holding both ends of the wires and I scorched all 4 fingers. My thumb and pointer finger on both hands are like, they're pretty numb right now. So it got hot pretty fast. So I was like, okay, well, that's the circuit breaker's working. That just means we got a dead short. So we went back to the back, tried to probe out some wires, tried to figure out what was happening, and, figured out those 2 yellow wires was the culprit, because when I unplugged those, the circuit breaker stopped flipping. And so I was like, okay, so now we figured that out, but it went to the transmission and to the fuel bowl and fuel pump. And so without power to both of those, you're not going to get anything working. So what I did is I clipped that power, I clipped that wire going to both of those, hot wired it to a power source in the back, and then basically just jumped the starter over, and it cranked up. And we've been running. I did stop at a rest area just to make sure nothing wasn't burning that I didn't know of. And if I touch those yellow wires back to over here, the switch actually works now. So, but there's a dead short somewhere in that yellow wire. But we're about 45 miles from the track, so we're going to go ahead and kick and get to the track. We got 3 days essentially. Rest of Friday, Saturday during the day, because we're only racing tomorrow night, and then Sunday at some point, we'll get this thing figured out. Which we got to figure out how we can limp it back to the house right now, unless something changes. If something changes, I got some buddies with some dualies. We're going to leave us a motorhome at the drag strip, and then we're going to kick it to the house. All right, we made it. I don't believe it. We're 3 hours behind schedule, but we did make it. And then to get in, it was, it took us 15, 20 minutes. So it was stuck in drive at that point. I couldn't get it back in neutral. So apparently whatever the problem is still there. And so I couldn't get it in neutral. And with this transmission in the motorhome, it was blazing heat. You're supposed to put it in neutral when you stop at stoplights if it's for extended period of time. So we were sitting there, transmission temperature gauge, boom, 300 degrees. Luckily we made it in without blowing a seal and burning somebody with hot transmission fluid. But we made it, so we're here. So now the fun begins. So today we ain't really got to do anything but figure out how to get the motorhome working. We're gonna watch some roll racing, and then tomorrow is small time. All right, here we go. All right, guys, we just rolled through tech. So the motorhome, how long have we been here? We've been here like 3 hours now. So we've been working on the motorhome the entire time. We haven't left our pit stall other than going to tech a minute ago. So it's going to work out though. Hopefully it's going to be fine. We did isolate a wire. We got one wire coming from the ignition switch that runs the transmission, the levelers. It runs the alternator. It runs a lot of stuff. It is shorted. It's dead shorted. It's a short out somewhere. We don't know exactly where it's at, but we found the one wire, and now we're going to trace it. I mean, we got a 40-foot motorhome, so it's going to be a chore. So we're going to get up in the morning, start tracing that wire. Basically, what we're going to have to do is just take that one wire and just follow it all the way out. We tried to make it hot and make it smoke. We wanted to do the smoke test on it, but it was getting way too hot. We don't want to damage any of our components, so we're gonna work on that. All right, we're gonna go watch some roll racing now. Check it out.
Oh man, F30 Eli, the stanciest car in the property is here. DTR on the brakes already, which you're not supposed to do. We're going to go 106.86 for the victory. 113.25, no good. 60 performance. That was actually a rerun right there, so. All right, so the starters are the prep man says it's good to go. Let's do this, baby. It's time to get it on.
Straight on up, just ease up. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, like.
A little bit. Come on up. A little bit more. A little bit more. Alright, come on up. Right there, stop. Alright, go on in your brake. Let it roll. Alright, go for it.
All right, guys, here we go. Next video coming up, we're going to have my car on the dyno. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Stay tuned. It's going to be interesting. Later, guys.